into his health, it is anything but ordinary. It was a reality show spectacle. Trump taped the episode today. It airs tomorrow. And as if the show script were written by the campaign itself, the episode is being teased as Trump springing a surprise on Oz. This is the clip they released.
Well, I have really no problem in doing it. I have it right here. I mean, should I do it? I don't care. Should I do it? Yeah, no problem. It's two letters. One is the report, and the other is from Lenox Hill Hospital.
May I see them?
Saying, yeah, sure.
So these are the report.
Those were all the tests that were just done last week.
It's unclear why Dr. Oz seems so surprised. It had been reported for days that Trump would reveal some of his information. It was only in the hours just before taping that there was any doubt. Why? Because the Trump campaign itself told reporters that he would not release any information. But then, surprise! So either it was a sham or they were just unknowingly peddling wrong information. Now, we can't tell from that short clip what information is actually in those two letters. The campaign spokeswoman described one letter as a one-page summary of Trump's physical exam. Tonight, we are getting some more details from Dr. Oz himself about the letters. This is what he told NBC Nightly News in an interview that just aired.
I was surprised. I looked at them and tried to process it pretty quickly. And I've got to say, as a doctor, if he was my patient, they're good for a man of his age.
Like what? What did it say?
They had details from a colonoscopy that he had a few years back. He had a calcium scan of his heart that was done that looked good. He had results from chest x-rays and EKGs, plus the laboratory results from last week.
There will be blowback because he did this on a television show. You're a doctor on TV. You're not his personal physician. You didn't grill him. You said it wasn't your role to ask him tough questions. You're not a journalist. What will you say to critics?
I'm a doctor. I host a television show that talks about health. I did not run the test myself, but it is a comprehensive view of a person that would normally be revealed from one doctor to another.
Again, let's take just a moment to absorb this. Trump's answer to transparency about his medical history is to go on the Dr. Oz show and reveal a summary of a physical performed by the doctor who previously said Trump would be the healthiest president in history. And the only analysis we have on said medical history is from a doctor who has been called before Congress to testify about his promotion of unproven weight loss products on his show. We have a lot to discuss with the panel tonight. Sanjay, let's start off with the fact you just got off the phone with Dr. Oz, who told you what he was shown by Donald Trump. What do we know?
Well, and Dr. Oz is a cardiothoracic surgeon. He's a heart surgeon, so we sort of drilled down a little bit on the heart stuff specifically. That's, probably the biggest concern for most people is heart health. He had a coronary calcium scan. I think you just heard that. He had EKGs. He also had an echocardiogram of his heart, talking about Donald Trump, of course. And, I asked, again, prefacing it by saying he's getting results from another doctor who's interpreting those results, who happens to also be friends with Donald Trump, talking about Dr. Bornstein. So you got to take it with that grain of salt. But he said that looking at all those test results, he was not concerned. He thought that they looked fine for someone of his age. And also his numbers, cholesterol numbers and all that. He's on a statin drug. But in summary, there wasn't a concern that Dr. Oz seemed to have about Mr. Trump's heart.
The amount of information that Dr. Oz told you was provided, compare that to the amount of information that Hillary Clinton has.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, neither are enough probably, but with Secretary Clinton's report, you did get a more detailed sort of accounting, not only of some of these specific health concerns, but also the results of tests, the CT scan of the brain, CT scan of the heart, the CT scan of the lungs, the various medications that she's been on, and even things like she's on this blood thinner, looking at how they're actually establishing what blood thinner she should be on, what the results of those tests have been. So you did get a more complete picture. Of course, we'll see if there's more on the show tomorrow, but certainly right now there's more information about Secretary Clinton than Mr. Trump.
There may be more on the show. Let's be clear. The Trump campaign could release even more information. They had speculated or said that they might do that, Gloria. But about this Dr. Oz spectacle. And again, for people who weren't watching all day, it wasn't just that he went on. It was then we heard from people in the audience, and it was only from people in the audience that we were being told Donald Trump's weight and, and what drugs he was taking.
He wanted to lose weight, apparently?
Yeah, it's just unusual.
Unusual? Yeah, I would say.
Well, the question is it unusual or unacceptable?
we have lived through this campaign where the unacceptable has become acceptable. I mean, this campaign is different from anything any of us have ever seen. This is very Trumpian. To do this. Donald Trump was the host of a reality TV show, and going on a reality TV show and reaching a wide audience that he wanted to reach, women viewers in particular, if you want to cut down the demographics of the audience, is not a dumb thing for Donald Trump to do if he wants to talk to women and say, okay, I just happen to have my health numbers here. Why don't you look at them, Dr. Oz, and tell us all what you think? I think from my perspective as a sort of political journalist who's been around, like, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen. But in this campaign and with this candidate, somehow it all seems to be part of his mosaic.
Well, Mary Catherine,
there's been a tradition going, at least at the New York Times, in which a medical doctor on our staff, going back to the President Reagan, interviewing candidates and writing, stories that are 2,000, 2,500 words long, in-depth stories, talking often to the candidate and to his doctor, trying to get at that. Donald Trump, the sort of the classic showman, the reality TV entertainer, who is all about, very much about crowd work and sort of knowing his audience and how to sort of spin it. He goes on to Dr. Oz, a doctor, and he does this sort of feint. Well, should I show it? Do you want to see it? It's classic Trump, but it is, at the end of the day, John, he is talking to a doctor about his health. Hillary Clinton has sort of yet to do that in terms of a doctor reporter. We'll see if she does. And, we'll see tomorrow, at least in terms of what details he gave.
No, I mean, it's a fair point. I mean, I saw promotions for it on Extra, tonight. I've seen it everywhere today. I got a real problem with how they jerked around the press over the course of the day with, he's not going to do it, when clearly he went in there with it in his pocket. He was going to do it all along. But, is Trump winning this media game today?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I will stipulate that I'd like both of them to go full McCain and give us a bunch of information. But I think on this point, look, on the scale of things, ridiculous things to be upset about in 2016, this is very, very low down. I think if Obama had gone on and done a guest spot on General Hospital and given his stuff, everybody would have been like, oh my gosh, what an insightful and interesting, innovative way to do this. So I think he's reaching a new audience. There are fewer questions about his health issues than there are about Clinton, so he has less risk in that area. I think if he turns mean on her, that's where the risk becomes bigger for him. But I think this is frankly a win for him. And the jerking around of the press was also an issue with Hillary when they evaded the press as soon as she had this incident on Sunday, and that was a real serious
problem. There's no question. I mean, they evaded the press, they escaped the press pool of which Donald Trump doesn't have one. Alex Burns,
that's how he evades that.
Given the success in Trump world of going on Dr. Oz, do we expect him to release his tax returns on Fox Business sometime soon?
I was trying to think what would be the equivalent financial planning show, and Billy Mays is no longer with us, so I don't know that would be an option.
Jim Cramer,
for him.
maybe.
But
Mad Money.
But look, I think that as a reporter, we're in a difficult position here with these two candidates, because you have one candidate who has been sort of partially and grudgingly forthcoming with a lot of information that people want, and another candidate who has been basically not forthcoming at all.
No taxes.
So no taxes. As of right now, the only information we have about his health is this secondhand description from members of a studio audience on the Dr. Oz show. We may, and we very likely will get some more information tomorrow, but this stacks up in a series of pledges that Trump has made to release information and then not carried through with them. And I do think it's just a challenge to figure out how can you be equally tough on two candidates when you have such different sets of information to work with, or no information at all.
And Jeff, the Clinton campaign really wants to be in a transparency battle with Donald Trump. They think that this is safe territory for them. You said they're going to press this point.
I think they are going to press it, I'm told. And look, at least on taxes, they believe they are winning this war. And they are, accurately speaking here. But what I think this has shown us over the past week is one of these two people is going to be president of the United States. This offers a window, a look into the type of presidency they would offer. And I think that for the Clinton side, we've learned that she's still as insular as she ever has been, and she relies on the advice of just a couple people. Again, most people in her staff in Brooklyn knew nothing about this, so they couldn't react to it. For the Trump side, who knows how he would conduct foreign policy, like what shows he would pick out. So I think like this has been an interesting week and a long campaign, sort of showing a window into, you know, how they would govern, or, you know, how they would present themselves
for quietly
in the White House.
weeping on TV.
Yeah. Right. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We have lots more to talk about, including the latest polling that shows Trump gaining ground nationally and in some key battleground states, leapfrogging Hillary Clinton in some cases. John King crunches the numbers next for us. Also ahead, someone else's emails are in the news for a change. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell, he got hacked. In the emails, Powell calls Donald Trump a national disgrace. That's just the beginning. What else he said about Trump and also about Hillary Clinton when 360 continues.